All right.
Is my audio okay, or do I sound like I'm breaking up when I talk?
No, your audio's fine to me. How about everybody else? Can you hear her? Yep, looks like you can. All
Okay.
right. No, I can definitely hear you.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. We still got some people coming in. Yeah, I put the announcement out late today, just maybe about 15 minutes ago. So, all right. So, did you guys watch some promos this weekend? Did anybody watch some promos this weekend? You did, Jay? What was your favorite promo? Let's see. We got you on mute still. Maybe you could take yourself off.
You got me?
Oh, there you go. Now we can hear you.
Yeah, one of my favorite ones when I was a kid was the Roddy Piper Bret Hart one from WrestleMania 8. When they were both like going into the match as faces for the Intercontinental belt, but Piper just did like a really good job of just like I don't know, like not making it like a heel versus face thing. It was more just like a competitive thing. Like when they were kids, he remembers like when they were like doing stupid shit and he was making fun of him because he couldn't tie his shoes, and he making fun of his family and stuff like that. It was more just like one of those things where you're just sort of like teasing your friend. And I thought it was a cool way to do a promo where it wasn't like two guys sort of like screaming back and forth at each other. You know what I mean? It was still entertaining.
Yeah.
So, sort of the magic of Piper, you know, still can be entertaining, and it wasn't anything over the top.
Did you watch Roddy Piper, Everything But the Kitchen Sink?
No, I didn't watch that one yet.
Okay,
No.
yeah, you definitely got to look up that one. Definitely do.
Did you watch it, Joey?
No, I haven't got a chance to. It's been one hell of a weekend. But yeah, I haven't got a chance to. But I see it here on my notes. So that's why I was asking Jay to see if maybe he stumbled across it.
Well,
okay, all right. Let's see here. Referee John Nelson. You watched some promos this weekend?
Yes, sir, I did.
So which one stands out in your mind that you watched?
Well, I'd love to say a Jake Roberts one because he's my favorite, but actually Mark Henry's retirement speech was one that I really enjoyed because it just caught me. It was based in real life and it caught me out of nowhere. So I really love that Mark Henry Salmon Blazer speech.
You know, I was just going to ask that. Is that the Salmon Blazer?
Yes, sir.
I remember one that he gave where he was giving a promo and he was talking about splitting somebody open till you see the white meat inside. I always remember Mark Henry saying that, and it really registered because I remember, like, if you get cut, like sometimes before blood shows, there's that white meat that's under your skin before the actual blood. And I always remember Mark Henry saying that. And, but yeah, I'm writing it down now. I definitely want to take a look at that one. I got my ongoing list here. Good. Hey, how about you, Hyde? Promos of the day, promos of the weekend, anything that you saw stuck out in your mind?
Paul Heyman on Vince McMahon when he was shooting on him about like how he's gonna take the company away from Vince McMahon, how his kids hate him, how like Stone Cold left him, and how like he ruins people's dreams, and like just how the build up into like this spot where he said like, yeah, you took my dream, and like some of the stuff he said was like true, and I was like, holy fuck, dude, why don't a lot more people like talk about this promo? Because like it was so real towards the end too, because he got pissed talking about like all the money that Vince McMahon like stole from him because of his idea of the ECW and called it, oh, it's the Attitude Era. He threw his hat, and then he like was just like, man, screw you, man, you took it. And I was like, holy shit, like if he was acting, that was fun, one of the best acting. But I think he was in promo gimmick, but then towards the end when he realized that, yo, you took my money, fucking threw the hat, and I was like, holy shit, dude. So
yeah, I mean, I want to say someone like Paul Heyman, definitely that was in gimmick, but since he brings it from the heart, takes something that's real in life and what he how he really feels, like you know, I'm pretty sure he really feels that like WCW and WWE came to ECW and cherry picked his entire roster, and I'm pretty sure that really pissed him off, you know what I mean? So yeah, definitely. I have that written down. I want to check it out. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just saying it's good. Like, oh, dude, makes
Yeah, I
sense.
mean, yeah, Heyman is one of the best. Have you now? If you're talking Paul Heyman, I'm always thinking about that Beyond the Mat. This is the dance speech. Have you seen that? It's not a promo. I mean, it's a speech. Have you
I
seen Beyond the Mat?
I don't think so.
No, come on, my friend. Yes, you have
It's
to
on
take.
Amazon. It's on Amazon. I'm pretty sure you can watch it for free if you have Prime Video.
Yeah, check out Beyond the Mat, and they got that ECW is going to pay-per-view, and they got Terry Funk on board, and it's like he gives a speech about how where the ECW is a little engine that could, and tonight this is the dance. Everything you've worked for is tonight, and it's just a very passionate speech given to a bunch of his guys right before going to pay-per-view. And you got to understand, like, they were just an indie before even getting a chance to like really play with the big boys and go on pay-per-view. And so it was really incredible from the heart. Like I said, it's not a promo, but I always remember it from that movie as a very great speech that Paul Heyman.
There's show, right? It was before a show.
Oh, yeah.
It was before
Oh.
Barely Legal 97. So just what Joey's saying is essentially they had the mass transit issue and then they lost their pay-per-view and they thought they were never going to get it again. So you got to understand that this is like the worst team in the Super Bowl getting the halftime speech from Paul Heyman before the show happened. That it's like, you guys, this is the little engine that, I mean, it's an amazing one because it's from the heart. That he's like, this is our one shot. This is our only chance.
Okay, I'm gonna check that one out again. Yeah.
Oh man, as a wrestler, Beyond the Mat, I don't know. I mean, as I was in wrestling coming up, that Beyond the Mat came out and somewhere like in 96, 97. And it was just something that like all the wrestlers seen. At least that's what I think. I think you should check it out though. It's really cool. It's got it's showing you from like the newcomers like Michael Modis and forget his name, Jones from APW. You must know, Ruby. You must know, Ruby. Tony Jones? Tony Jones. All the way to like Jake the Snake and having problems with his daughter, to Terry Funk, who's wrestling and telling Bret Hart like, no, I'm gonna lose because no one's gonna believe that I could beat the world champion. So as a retiree, I'm gonna go out on my back for you, Bret. You know what I mean? It's amazing, and it's like actually for this show that they did at Beyond the Mat, or for Beyond the Mat, like it was Terry Funk, and they had people from all over, from ECW, WCW, and WWE, doing a local show for Terry Funk, which is kind of like you would think kind of unheard of a little bit right now. You know what I mean? Like no one's lending out talent in that sense. I mean, maybe AEW would let you do it, but definitely not like a WWE. But obviously, what was to be a special occasion. I saw Undertaker retire this weekend. Made me think of Terry Funk, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I just thought. I mean, how long is he going to be retired?
Yeah. Maybe retired from WWE, but maybe he'll.
You know what? I noticed that it said he was retired from WWE, not pro wrestling, right? I did notice that. So maybe maybe he wants to wrestle Jericho. That'd be a good match, right? Taker versus Jericho.
We'll see how they play that one out.
I mean, I'd like to see that, I guess, right? I don't know. All
Hey,
right.
Joey, I might
Yes.
say that people here in the chat should go and watch Beyond the Mat too, because it involves California history with All Pro Wrestling and NorCal and Roland Alexander. So I feel like they had a lot to do with California wrestling as well.
Yeah, definitely. And if you don't know who Roland Alexander is, find out. Promoter, trainer up north, APW, gave a lot of guys a first chances, like, on because they used to do shows, Best of the Indies, I think, or Best of the West, or something like that. Where
Rush and Best in the West. They had a couple of shows.
Yeah, where they had like the best of independent wrestlers on these shows, kind of how they do in the East Coast, and APW would do it. So, but yeah, definitely want to check it out. Because there's a lot of information on there that you'll see, and so that's Beyond the Mat. So, yeah, really good one to see. All right, let's see here, Javier. Did you watch another 50 promos, my friend?
Yeah, I was watching a few of them, and there's two of them, or actually one of them that really caught me off guard, and it's one from Owen Hart. I think Owen Hart wasn't really known for doing like really great promos, but there is this one where he did after the whole Bret Hart incident, the Montreal Screwjob, where he came back as the Black of Hearts, and he was trying to he just did this like whole 3-minute promo on like how he was going to redeem his brother, and it never really anything never really happened after that. But as we all know, he did the Blue Blazer gimmick. But the thing is that promo was like really good, and it caught me off guard because I was like, holy crap, it sounds like he's about to like take over the whole industry with the way he sounded. And as you mentioned, like there's some realness behind it, and it just felt real.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of realness behind Owen Hart being the youngest of all those brothers wrestling, trying to make a name for himself just with this, starting within a family and always being in the shadow, and then also going to companies, and then once again, being in Bret Hart's shadow. So he definitely has a lot of passion coming from him. One that I always remember from Owen Hart, I don't know if anyone else remember. He wasn't a nugget. Does anybody remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't.
I'm not a nugget.
Yeah, I'm not a nugget. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I always remember that. But I definitely try to give me a name. You said it's with Bret Hart, or what was that Owen Hart promo? Because I want to try to find it and check it out.
It was this is where he was introducing the Black of Hearts or Black
of Hearts. That'll work.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the gimmick that he was naming himself. Because before that, he was the King of Hearts with the whole thing against Bret. But then he, once after Bret left, he said that he's now the Black of Hearts to like redeem everything that happened. I thought it was amazing. It really caught me off guard because that's not something I'm really used to from him.
Yeah, you'll definitely see those gems out there from these wrestlers. So yeah, that's why I wrote it down. I wanted to take a look at it and stuff. So
yeah.
All right, let's see here. So, all right. So last week all entire week we did. We talked about some promos and how to cut them, the do's and don'ts. And then also now on last Thursday we give you guys a chance to cut a promo. And then we critiqued it. So Ruby and I are here, so we definitely can go ahead and critique that. I want to continue the promos. And I know, like, it looks like here, most of you have went and have done a promo, maybe except 3 or 4 of you. I got Anthony Milo, I got Lindsay, even I have Alyssa here. And it looks like everybody else has cut a promo. So I definitely would like to give a second chance to everybody else. For Birdman, we gave you some pointers about reading, and for Hyde, we gave you some pointers. I know John Nelson, we definitely just maybe wanted to elongate the promo a little bit. I know Javier gave it a good shot last week with the Oh Daddy, Oh Daddy. So we'll give him a second chance to get at it. And actually, Will Ortorias was the guy that had the best promo. So we got a smaller class today, but still can have an opportunity to have the best promo. And I know Jay Douglas was up there last week. And then let's see, Dom had a really good one, and I think he just stretched it out a little bit too much. And I remember we talked about that on Thursday. So hopefully we're going to give everybody a chance to cut these promos. And then before we get started, I just want to go through and ask you guys, hey, so now is there anything that you might have a question regarding to maybe before you guys cut your promo, any questions that you might want to ask to help you out, so that way this time, for those that are giving the second round, we can nail it. And then for those giving the first round, if you have any questions just going forward, I mean, we're cutting a 30 to 45 second promo. Actually, it's a 45-second promo. Ruby or I will give the Iggy. The Iggy means go home. And when we give you the Iggy, then you have about 15 seconds to take it home. Obviously, we want to be between 30 and 45 seconds. Never over. We can be under. But also, we don't want to be under 30 seconds. We'd like to be between the 30 and 45. And then how do we do that? Well, for one, it takes practice. We'll give you the signals, and then as you practice over and over, it's going to give you the opportunity to now start timing it out, and you'll start knowing the time without even having to look at a clock. Because then, when you take your eyes, and this is what we're talking to Birdman about, when you take your eyes off the camera, it does take away from the promo itself. Because also were talking about, hey, we want to believe the promo starting in your eyes, right? The windows to the soul. So we want to definitely look at that and then go from there. So definitely, I'm expecting Birdman to now hit the promo. Whether we stutter, stumble, or whatever the case is, better than reading. Let's just get to the end. We'll make sure that we can nail it and get through. And then we'll go ahead and go from there. So, is there anything that you might want to add, Ruby? Pointers that you might have or anything like that? Just ready to go? Okay.
Ready to rock. I just want to feel it. Like, make me feel it. A couple people sent me some promos this weekend, and I think that was like the big go home this weekend for the ones I got, was just make me feel it. Yeah, I don't care what it is. If it's comedy, if I should laugh, if it's heartbreaking, if I should, cry, or if it's just that fierceness, just make me believe it.
Yes, let's go ahead and put it out there. So now I know we have Anthony, Milo, Alyssa, and even Lindsay. That actually, I know Lindsay was here last time and didn't get a chance to do it. So I know I don't see your video here, but if you guys want to cut the promo first, I want to go ahead and speak up. And same thing we talked about last week was, hey, I want to have eager hands ready to go and ready to try to cut a promo. So if Milo or Lindsay or even Alyssa or Anthony aren't ready, is there anybody else that I'm looking at right now that's ready to give their second promo? Who's ready? Oh, I see Birdman. Hey, and guys, just go ahead and speak up. I might not see your hand.
Birdman's ready to give it a second go.
All right, so let's go ahead, and I want to see his full view here. Oh, all right, Birdman, he's already in it. Ruby, are you ready with the time? Okay. All right, here we go. All right, when you start speaking, my friend.
Birdman here. Birdman is sick of being second place. Last week, Birdman gave a second-rate effort and ended up second from last. You know what? That's fine. Birdman deserved to be second from the last because he put in a second-rate performance. But the fact of the matter is that ever since I started, I've been treated as a second-place performer, the silver medal. Even though I've put in a gold medal effort every single time that I step into that ring and every single time that I open my mouth, I've been treated as number 2, and I will not. I refuse to be second place. I refuse to be the first loser any longer.
All right. I want to say you did say your name right in the beginning, right? Absolutely right in the beginning. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I like the enthusiasm behind this promo. I felt that it was at one gear, so we went straight across. I'd like to see, start low, maybe get high. You could bring us back down low. You can stay high. But I'd like to see some different tones and different gears that your promo can see, as opposed to being on the same, just on that same gear the whole way. It's like revving that engine and there's no like making it, it's just keeping it straight. And so that was my impression of that. Definitely a lot better than last week. You obviously were feeling it. You obviously weren't reading it. So those are definitely 2 pluses right there. What did you think, Ruby?
I definitely noticed that you implemented repetition with the second, which I really like. Compared to last week, this is a definite improvement. The eyes were there with the intensity. But for some reason, for me, on my end, I'm still not feeling that intensity. I don't know how to explain that besides, I don't know how you're feeling it, but if you only believe a little bit of that, then that's what I'm feeling, because I didn't feel the frustration. I heard frustration. I didn't feel frustration. I hope that makes sense.
Sure.
So look, we got a small class today, so it looks like we're probably going to get you a second chance today to hit it again. So let's. What I'd like you to do, right? Obviously, we've been talking about, right? You have to start with believing your promos. If you don't believe your promos, who's going to believe it? So let me ask you, like, did you believe that promo 100%? Were you trying to manufacture the feeling of believing it? What was going through your mind?
No, I absolutely believed it. I believe that I've been placed in second when I've been putting in a first place effort, and I also believe that I put in a second rate effort last week that was not worthy of what I know I can do, and that's what I wanted to capture. I think you're absolutely right. I think I only stayed in kind of one cadence, one emotional zone, and I think that took away from it. So definitely, if I get a chance to cut another one, I'll play around with more levels and see if I can make it arc more rather than just the wordplay.
And that's exactly what you said, is like, I'm gonna mess around with the levels and see what I can do, right? It's trial and error, see what works, see what doesn't. I assume that you cut these promos this weekend by yourself in the mirror or something like that, in your room.
Yeah, I just in
Okay.
the space, I'll pick a time and I'll just go.
Okay, all right.
But
All right.
also,
Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry, Ruby.
sorry, I would also add, like, if you think about a promo in the terms that you think about a match, so you had your emotionality and the pacing was like this, you know, the whole match, the pacing was like this, your whole promo, the pacing was like this. If you could do an emotional build or a verbal fluctuation, basically try to think of it as a match. So if you
Sure.
want to see an elevation in the match, how would you do that in your promo?
Okay. Thank you, Ruby. Thank you, Joey.
Yeah, and you know, and going to piggyback on what she's saying is also right. You're building that promo like we're building a match. So let's think of it in that terms to maybe help you out. And definitely, I mean, it looks like we'll definitely have time to hit another one.
Okay.
And that's what we want to do, is just kind of hit them. Hey, if you hit it out of the ballpark, that's great, right? Let's keep going. Let's move forward. Let's make it better. So let's all right, take it back to the drawing board. Even if you have to say something else besides like perfecting this promo, because I think this was two different promos. What was the promo that you had about last week? Because I really got thrown off with you reading it. What was it about? The same thing?
It was totally different. Last week was about human garbage in the business and Birdman being the trash man to remove them from that space.
Okay. All right. So now we got different levels that we could play with. We could even try to mesh two promos together to try to get to bring it out. So we'll definitely be coming back around to you, Adam. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Cool. Hey, if you're raising your hand, Javi, you're lucky I see you.
Before I go, one thing I do want to bring up is how in the hell do you stop from getting nervous before you actually give the promo? Because like right now, I just feel like my heart is like ready to pound out of my chest. And
I think that's good, right? Like that means you
Yeah.
care. You know what I mean? That means that you want to make it your best. How do I become not nervous? Like my best advice that I can give is cutting it over and over again, speaking over and over again, getting very comfortable with what you're going to say so it rolls off the tongue. And sometimes that just takes like time, right? We sit here, and I told you guys last week that Ruby and I can give you all these promos and critique and teach you guys, but the idea is that you guys really just have to now think outside the box, put in the extra homework, and really try to elevate your promos, whether that's, hey, looking at motivational speakers, cult speakers, politicians, right? We were talking about that. So how do we get those nerves out of us? I always like to think first is because you care. Okay, I want to tell you that first. It's because you care. I'll tell you a little story about my buddy Aaron Aguilera. He was in a locker room with Eddie Guerrero, and he told Eddie Guerrero, he said, "Hey, Eddie," he said the same thing that you said right now. He didn't say it about a promo, but he said it about a match. And he said, "Hey, Eddie Guerrero, I'm really nervous before I go out there, man. I got these butterflies in my stomach." And Eddie Guerrero told him probably the best thing that he could ever hear. And he says, "You're nervous because you care." Right? And so, my buddy Aaron Aguilera kind of puts his head up there. I fucking care. Right? So fast forward to another show, he's in a different locker room with La Parka, and he asks La Parka and tells La Parka the same thing and says, "Hey, La Parka, I'm really nervous before my match. Like, what do you what is some advice you can give me?" And La Parka tells him, "You're nervous because you're unprepared. I'd love to believe what Eddie Guerrero says is the truth, but I want to really reluctantly say I think what La Parka is saying is the truth, is that if you're a little nervous, you're probably unprepared, right? So I like having that little bit of nerves in you. I think that's good, but I think it also leaves when because I have been incredibly nervous, and then I have been able to just go out there and perform without thinking about it, just being years of being prepared with professional wrestling. So that's my take. And I always wanted to say, like, I love what Eddie Guerrero has said, but I always thought if that's good enough and it can be better, then why don't we make it better? You know what I mean? Why don't we prepare ourselves? Because I thought what Parka says, it was amazing, right? You're unprepared, and I think I don't want to believe it, but I think that's the truth. That's how at least I see it. What are your tips, Ruby, on he's telling us, hey, I'm really nervous right now. How can I help? How can I get those nerves down?
This is gonna sound easier said than done, but you're thinking too much. Stop thinking too much. Which it kind of sounds. I would say that's similar to because you care, but it's because you're caring too much. You have to, at least for right now, consider where we are right now. We are in a learning environment. The way you learn is by failing. When you fail, you learn from your failures. So don't be afraid right now. Like, that's just my opinion. Don't be afraid right now. You have nothing to worry about with all of us here. And it's funny, that story that you're talking about, Joey, about because you care too much versus you not being prepared. There's two types of stress. And one of them is a good stress. You stress, that's a good stress. The stress because you're gonna go do this. It's there. The other stress is the stress because you're unprepared. So you got to look at yourself and see, why are you, Javier, having this stress? Like, that's not something I don't think any of us could answer for you, but look at yourself and tell us why you have this stress, because honestly, it's just us, bro. We're here.
Yeah, it's like, hey, it is just us, just comfortable in front of us, because the idea is that you're going to want to take this, right? You want to do it at WrestleMania, 100,000 people, right? I mean, that's the idea, at least for most people. You want to do it at the biggest stage that you can do it. So right here, I mean, what do we have? About 16 people in here right now total. Why I always have to, I'll be honest with you though, Javi, is that I've always thought wrestling in front of 16 people is a lot harder than wrestling in front of 1,600 people, so your nerve wreck might be a little bit more, but if you can nail it here, right, with 16 people, man, 1,600 people is going to be easier, because now it's just a crowd of people. Here you can actually see all of our 16 faces, and that's what I've always thought about that. So let's give it a shot and see what you can do.
All right then. You know what? Like, that was actually like pretty badass with the story that you told me, and I'm happy for that too. Like,
all right, I'm glad I could help.
Like waterfall on top of me, like a moment of epiphany.
All right, Javi, let's see it. Let's have at it. When you start talking, she'll time you.
Sounds good. You're not your shoes. You're not your gold chains. You're not the brands on your shirt. You're not me. You're not Dante Reyes. I talk like you want to talk. I walk like you want to walk. I'm all the ways you can never be. And that is me, Dante Reyes.
So right off the bat, what is he at, Ruby? About 20 seconds? 23?
22 seconds.
22 seconds. So right off the bat, right, we're already under that 30. And then I want to say the same thing that we talked about Birdman. It was right across in the same tone. Very, I don't know. Like, I don't, you have to engage us a little bit more, a little bit better, maybe tell a story. Yeah, I definitely think you could do better. I want to say you probably did better on the last promo than this one. I mean, what did you think about this one, Ruby?
Immediately off the bat, I thought that you were quoting Fight Club.
Yeah. That's what I just watched, and I'm like,
yeah, I know.
I like that.
Yeah.
You see her
So
face? You see
Yeah,
her face,
I know.
Javi?
Off the bat, I knew. So here's the thing: if you want to go ahead and be a Tyler Durden, you could be a Tyler Durden. But there's a lot of Tyler Durdens out there. For one, for two, as soon as you put that promo anywhere, everybody's gonna know exactly what you're quoting because that movie is so popular. So you've already set the bar way, way up here because you're looking at someone like Brad Pitt who is delivering these lines in this whole scenario. Now, like I said, it's not that you can't do this, but you need to do this in your way. I was ready for you to say the lines, you know, I walk the way you want to walk, I dress the way you want to dress, I F the way you want to F. Like, it's known, bro. So if you do that with your take, with the Javier take, because it's not Tyler Durden.
Yeah, like, you know, you can always take something that's really cool, right? Never plagiarize it, right? Then you're the ripoff of that person. But you can take that promo, give it some creative thought, and just like Ruby said, make it your own. You know what I mean? Definitely make it your own. You can just replace a little bit of scenarios, and that'll definitely help you out. But right, I'd rather you be 100% you, whether we go down failing, than trying to be a second-rate Tyler Durden or second-rate anything. You know what I mean? So I'd rather you just give it your all, what you can do. What's on your mind? What do you want to say? How do you want to say things? You know what I mean? Like, and goes back out there. Don't worry about trying to give us the coolest promo that you've heard words on. Tell us, like we want to hear what you feel. You know what I mean? What are you feeling? And we want you to translate that to us, to really come deep down inside. And like I told you guys, hey, when I started, like it took me like to grow up a little bit in wrestling to kind of have something to go off of, to have some realism within wrestling of how I feel. So at first, a lot of my promos were kind of like yours, Javi, where they were just real empty and dry, no substance involved in it. But I think, like, you know, just really, I wouldn't study the way I'm telling you guys to study either. Like, I wouldn't watch promo after promo after promo. So I think that's definitely going to help you, and it can help you. So you're probably gonna get a second chance today to get to hit it off the ballpark. Let's focus on being you. Let's at least hit the time, because if you at least just give me something, at least if you hit the time, then my segment is covered for whatever we're trying to do. You know what I mean? And then we'll just go ahead and go from there. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. Appreciate it, guys.
All right. So let's see who else has got something. Just go ahead and speak up in case I can't see you guys.
I'm ready.
Oh, Lindsay's ready. I thought she was just listening today. All right.
No. You know, as a football player, I like to study film. That's why I never volunteer first. It's not because I'm not ready. I just like to study.
I thought you were going into the promo right now.
I could. I thought about it.
Yeah,
It felt like it. You should have just ran with it.
Yeah,
I know. I was so I just kind of have a question, because it's like, you know, is there like any no-nos? Because, you know, like cutting a promo as like a face versus a heel. Sometimes, like, for me, like, I'm very sarcastic and I have a bunch of one-liners, but I don't want them to like come across as like heel-y. So I didn't know if doing that like would have kind of did that. So
I mean, sometimes I would probably believe and assume that it does. Obviously, your actions in the ring will probably speak louder, right? You have like two of the most famous in The Rock and Stone Cold, who probably were exactly what you're describing. You know, very sarcastic in what they did, and they would even be faces. What are some of your thoughts, Ruby, on that?
This is a question I've actually been asked recently a couple of times. I think all those one-liners and stuff is okay. It's going to be in your entire package in your presentation. So it's how you're going to present yourself moving forward.
got it.
Yeah, and then give us what you feel. Give us what you feel, right? Don't give us what you think we want to hear.
Okay. Yeah. It's like, don't overthink it, you know?
Yeah. Give me like, right. Oh, well, I should say this or I should do that, right? And that's why I always say to a lot of the people, like, hey, we can sit here and teach you how to do the promos. I think sometimes it gets messed up in your head. Oh, I should have said this before that, and I shouldn't have did that. I should have brought him up right before I bring him down. Clear your head. Clear your head, right? And remember what we're trying to do in a promo is we are trying to draw people to seats, right? We're trying to draw eyes to the pay-per-view. We want to give people a reason to want to watch this. And so that's really the bottom line, you know. And then, you know, if you go into combat sports, right, it's same sequence. The best ones like Conor McGregor or whoever it is that talks a good talk, right, that draws people into seats. So and a lot of times, right, they're not teaching people how to do, probably not teaching people how to do promos in MMA. Speak how you feel. Let that come across, you know. So, and let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot, and then we'll go from there.
All right, cool.
Okay. All right.
Well, first, I'll just start off by saying I'm extremely grateful to be training at Santino Brothers. And Joey, I want to personally thank you for allowing us this opportunity to do these Zoom practices, because as an elite athlete, there's nothing I love more than having an opportunity to elevate my game. And that's what you've given us here. So while I have you all, I'm going to go ahead and let you know that 2020 is going to be the year that I debut out of Santino Brothers. Lindsay Cash is coming to dominate another sport. I'm a professional football player, professional dancer, a collegiate soccer player, and I'm ready to step in this field and take over another sport. But I just want to let you know, I am humble, I hustle, I work extremely hard, so don't mistake my confidence for cockiness at all. I respect each and every one of you, I really do. But just know that when we go toe-to-toe and step in that ring, it's not personal, it's just business.
Ruby, she probably cut it right on the money, or maybe a second later or a second before. It was 46?
Early?
50.
50. Okay,
I have it
5
down at
seconds
50.
off. 5 seconds off. Okay, so my right off the bat, Lindsay, I liked what you said. I thought that I heard you were nervous in the sense that maybe you weren't slowing down in your speaking. It was like, let me just, that's what I was hearing. Let me just say what I got to say to get it done. But if you look like 45, I think you went 50, but 45 seconds is pretty much an eternity in the sense that you had so much to say and get in there. You know what I mean? And I think you were probably about, at least on my clock, about 28 seconds by the time you started saying what you were going to do.
Got it.
Thank us. Which I thought was fine. I just think you could probably definitely edit out something on that, right? We want to, I want you to slow down. So if you slow down, you're obviously not going to be able to fit everything, every single word that you said in this last promo, right? So editing it down a little bit, and then for the purpose of slowing your promo down, right? Let's speak with confidence. And I did hear the confidence. Since you were trying to speed it up to hit your time, I definitely noticed that, you know. Yeah. So what did you think about her promo, Ruby?
I felt like Joey was saying, slow down. For me, I would say I needed to see some more emotion in you and showing who you are, because when I was listening to you, it sounded like I was listening to you inside of a resume, like you giving your resume. You're at an interview for a job and you were writing down, hey, my name is Ruby Raze. I went to USC, graduated top of my class. I was in the top 5%. I made high, like that's the way it came off to me. It's very interview oriented. I want to, when I hear your promo, I want to know who you are and how you approach things, and that being like, show me your personality. There you go. Easily summed up. Show me your personality. I felt like that was just an interview right now, and I don't know who your personality is. And I think when you get to it, showing your personality is going to be one of the huge things, especially being a female. Everybody wants to know, who's this girl? And especially a girl like us, athletic girls. They want to see and feel who you are out there, especially like the ass kicker. So be that ass kicker and show us.
Okay.
Right, and that's part of that personality. You know, that's really going to help us become a fan of you. You know, so like, and this is what I always tell people. Like, hey, you seemed a little nervous. How are you when you're with your group of friends? You know, are you outgoing? You're obviously not nervous. You just let it flow. You're not thinking about anything. I kind of want to get I want to get that feeling out of you is really what I want to see. Is just I get it. We're trying to make personalities. Hey, I'm the Undertaker, or I'm the Shawn Michaels, the sexy boy, whatever the case is. Hey, I just want you to be you. Whether it's like, hey, when you're in your group of friends, right? They all like you because of your personality. You know what I mean? That's why they hang out with you, and so on and so forth. So show me more of that, right? As opposed to trying to show me what you think we want to see. And I think I've learned at least, like in the last couple of years, that's always been a biggest problem for beginners is they try to show the coaches what they think we want to see. I think it does mess up in your head a little bit. Just let it flow. Let it flow. Like, what is a pro wrestling promo to you? You know what I mean? And have that little bit of magic and fire come out a little bit. And so I think that'll help you. And once again, I think we probably would have enough time to hit a second one for you also. So we'll definitely want to give it a second shot. Try to just give me a little bit more personality out of it, and I think that'll help out.
Makes sense. I appreciate the feedback from both of you, and that helps a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep working at it.
Yes, yeah, and that's all we can do is just keep looking. As long as we're better today than we were yesterday, then we're on our way. And if it's little baby step by baby step to get there, then that's what we got to do. You know what I mean? So, like, we don't expect anybody to be the greatest promo overnight, and if you are, that's going to be amazing and great. But we do understand, like, it does take time. Like, I'm a big believer in, we teach you how to be a wrestler in about a year, at least show you all the moves and the how-tos, how to do it. I still a big believer that it takes about 2 years to really to be like a rookie wrestler in my eyes. You want to go through training for a year and then maybe go through a circuit of shows for a year. And I think the same thing is like for promos, same thing. It's all part of it. It's like that fine wine. As it gets better, as it gets older, is really how I see it. If you look at guys like Jericho, I think that's, and even Undertaker, it's kind of proven. I'm sure there's some bad Undertaker matches, obviously, but not a lot of the times. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and let's think about that when we move forward. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
All right, let's see. Who's next? I see a Hyde hand. For some reason, I do see it. Just speak up. All right, here we go, Mr. Hyde.
Ready, Ruby?
Oh, she's always ready, brother, as soon as you start talking. Hey, maybe even as soon as you start giving us the eyes. I see you already, like, you turned that Stone Cold shit on. We talk about Stone Cold being on a podcast, and a wrestler wants to banter with him. You want to banter with the best? And he turns on that shit with his eyes. So, hey, we can even see when your promo starts with your eyes. So, all right. It's yours, my friend.
I closed my door and I closed my window because what I want to say right now, I don't want it to leave. What your buddy Hyde has to say, I don't want it to leave. And I don't want you to tell anybody what I'm about to say right now. Because for the last 3 months, all of us have been experiencing some sort of quarantine where you can't leave your house or else you get in trouble. You've been experiencing for 3 months and you're losing your minds. I've been on lockdown my entire life, being nice because that's what I thought that society wants me, that to succeed I have to be too nice. Well, guess what? I'm done being nice. You want to know who's hiding?
My friend Hyde, what was that last line? You said you want to know who's hiding, and then what did you say?
You will be.
You will be hiding. Okay. I like the. What was our time, Ruby?
It was over.
Was it?
I feel it. You're on mute.
I have 57 seconds.
57. Oh my gosh, that's so. Yeah, we're a little bit over. I did like the promo in the sense of how you're starting it. I don't know if I like the way you're moving the camera around. That's for a director, So that wouldn't even have to be something you'd have to worry about, But obviously, we're in the social media world where we do our own promos, so that is something that you have to think about, So I don't know if I like that. I did like the tones from starting low, and then you got really high. It really got my attention. I was really attracted to that. I think, and I think even the ending, like where you ended it, I felt that was a good end. I just, for some reason, when you move the camera around, we kind of hear something, so I did not hear the actual word. So that was the only thing that, that is just me. I'm pretty sure maybe somebody else also heard it. So that was good. What did you think about his promo, Ruby?
I really enjoyed it after 20 seconds. And what I mean by that is, for the first 20 seconds of your promo, you kept talking about what you're gonna say, but you didn't say anything. If you and now let's think about that. You went 45, 12 seconds over. Am I right? Math. You went like 12 seconds over, and you spent 20 seconds telling us what you're gonna say without saying anything. Let's cut out that 20 seconds, and let's focus on what you are gonna say. I think the end, I liked how the build went, and you got angrier, and I could feel it. Like, I could feel the boiling. And here's what I would have done, and you don't have to listen to me. Boil, who's gonna hide? Straight at the camera. You are. Done. Like, you don't have to do the majestic throw of the thing or anything like that. So I would say just cut out, for lack of better words, buckaholics. Cut out the fluff and get to the meat right there.
I felt it. I was like, at the beginning, I was like, fuck, what was I gonna say? So I just kept rambling, and it was supposed to, yeah, I understand. Yeah.
So you were a little lost in the beginning.
Yes.
Okay, I mean, I think that's pretty impressive for being like, oh shit, I lost my train of thought, and then within 20 seconds getting it back together. I think that's, yeah, I think that's pretty impressive, to be honest with you. And it's going to happen. That's why it's going to take that, right, those practicing sessions of over and over and over, right? You're going to get it down, and now I got it. But maybe you never hit the scenario where your mind goes blank right before the promo. You know what I mean? So I think that's always good to just really put yourself and find yourself in every different kind of scenario, and because it will help you out. It will get you to be better. Now, I think, like, let me ask you this about that mask. Is that something that Hyde's going to be using?
For entrance, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Maybe next time you can have it on to start and take it off. You know what I mean? I don't know, something, because it was kind of like you brought it in view, and then we really didn't get a good look at it. But maybe you're wearing it to start, because we'll probably get another chance to do another promo here today too. But I thought 100%. Besides, I think we were 12 seconds over. She says you're 57 seconds, so you're about 12 seconds completely over off air. Right, so that's a big minus. But so right, let's just edit it down and 12 seconds, right? So now you can have 8 seconds in the beginning before you hit your promo, right? You shouldn't go 20. You can have at least 8 to kind of think and ramble. And I got to get it together. But definitely, I thought night and day from last time, to be honest with you. So a lot better promo. So good job. Good job, my friend. All right, let's see. Who else is out there?
I'll go.
Referee John Nelson. All right, my friend. Let's see it.
You see this patch here? It doesn't say Boy Scouts of America. It says Professional Wrestling Referee. For those of you who don't know, my name is John Nelson. I'm not a failed wrestler, and I'm not here to be one of the boys. Mr. Kaos hired me to do one thing, and that's enforce the rules. Trust me, the rules will be respected, and professional wrestling will be respected. I can count on it.
I think by you adding that, I can count on it, put you over the 30 seconds. So that was good. You kind of stumbled a little word here and there, little nerves going. I thought it was better. So last time you did the promo, and it might have been within 17 seconds or something like that. So this time you said a couple of more words, said a little bit more, but then you stretched it up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I thought definitely. So now we're stretching it. I think the flow of the last promo that you did, the flow of it was better than this one. Obviously, this one was longer. And then once again, I think we can give it a second chance. Even if you're cutting the second promo, you could even cut it right now. We can hear it again. Because I did see you just kind of stumble over some of the words. And you know what kind of threw me off? I'll be honest with you. You kept pointing at your patch, and it said now. And I'm trying to figure out, how does that mean professional wrestling?
Yeah, I don't have the patch. I don't have the patch done yet, so you got to.
No, I know. I didn't. I realized that. I was like, okay, he's assimilated. So that might have threw me out, just threw me personally off a little bit because I was looking at the now patch and I'm like, how does that make sense? It's got the good colors. There you go. There you
Can I
go.
give it another go?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let's the rules will be respected. Professional wrestling will be respected. I believe you still could even throw in that line that I will be respected, right? Because if you disrespect the referee in the sense like you grab them, right, that's a disqualification. You can't touch the ref. The referee's always going, look at my shirt. You can't do, you know what I mean? Not only commanding but demanding that order inside his wrestling ring. You know what I mean? Where that referee will get in Triple H's face, and Triple H always does Ric Flair, where he actually pushed me, ref, and the referee pushed him. He takes a bump. Little corny, but it's getting the point across that this guy means business. Okay. All right. So, all right, let's go ahead and do it. See what we got.
You see this patch here? It doesn't say Boy Scouts of America. It says Professional Wrestling Referee. For those of you that know, God.
All right, zip. Let's do it again. Yeah.
You see this patch here? It doesn't say Boy Scouts of America. It says Professional Wrestling Referee. For those of you that don't know, my name is John Nelson, and I'm not a failed wrestler, and I'm not here to be one of the boys. Mr. Kaos hired me to do one thing: enforce the rules. And trust me, the rules will be respected. Professional wrestling will be respected. I will be respected. I can count on it.
Not bad. I thought it was better. I think the messing up and trying again, your first 5 seconds, I think you were kind of a little thrown off. After that first 5 seconds, I think you fell into the groove of it. You got onto the train tracks and you kind of fell into it. I think when you started that third promo for messing up, it just kind of threw you off. So, right, we're going to do it again. Okay, man, if you got to turn around, if you got to walk away and come back and sit down and go, okay, just relax. So I just think that threw you off, but I liked it a lot better. Okay. You definitely got back on track. You started slowing that promo down. I did like that line at the end. I will be respected because you will respect the referee. What are your thoughts on this one, Ruby, with referee John Nelson?
I thought the second and the third, he actually sounded like he had more conviction about being this point of authority than he did compared to the first one. So I don't know if you were just shaking out the nerves on the first one, but I felt it more, and it also reflected in your voice because your voice got lower the second time that you gave it. For me, that I thought that was a good ref promo. I would personally put more emphasis on your name and don't run over your name so quick because this is your introduction. So I want to know specifically who you are. You kind of passed over it like any other part of the promo. And also for me, the last part where you're reiterating the rules will be respected, the something will be respected, you count on it. I would put a hard, I would put a hard period after each line. The rules will be respected. This will be, like, that's where, like, that is your point of authority. This is what you do. So make sure that everybody will know that this is what you do. You know, something like that.
Cool. Thank you.
Good. Not bad. Hey, how tall are you, John?
6'2", 6'3"-ish.
So I'm sure that Jeremy's talked to you about how to make yourself look lower, how to make yourself smaller presence in the ring.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think definitely that was something that he had an issue with, right? Being a little bit taller. I don't know you're taller than him though, aren't you?
We're about the same height.
Okay, so you're about the same. So, right, it's not writing you off completely, but yes, definitely. I think it's good to have a size ref like that, but definitely keeping in your head that, yes, I want to make myself feel or look,
wider leg.
Yeah, I'm the third guy in the ring. Very important, but I'm also not important in the sense that, I definitely seen there, but I shouldn't be noticed, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, leveling and everything.
Yes. All right, not bad. We stretched to the time. I definitely like that. So yeah, getting it there. I want you to kind of cut loose a little bit, like kind of feel it a little bit, get those nerves out, right? Just doing it over and over, trying to figure out, talking a lot more, verbally speaking out. It's definitely going to help you.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Let's take a look here. Who is
Milo,
next?
Milo.
All right.
What's up, everyone? It's your girl, Milo. I think we can all agree 2020 sucks. You know what else sucks? My public speaking. In the wise words of my second cousin, twice removed, Marshall Mathers, his palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. I felt that. It runs in the family. Anyway, back to my point. I feel as if they don't care about what I have to say. They care about how I work in the ring. They care about my aura. I'm a cool ass skater chick with a limited lingo. So enough said. Anyways, Milo Matters.
You had it. You had it. Let me ask you this.
I got it mixed up. Okay, look, I like wrote my notes like all like random and I was like scratching things off. I'm like trying to look.
All right. All right. I mean, hey, let me ask you this. First thing first out. Is it Milo?
It Matters. That's why I was like, he's my second cousin.
Okay. Good. I dug it. I felt the personality in it. I could tell who you were. You didn't even really have to tell me that you were a cool, what'd you say, a cool skater chick?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't even think you had to tell me that. Like, I kind of got that. Whether, hey, maybe I thought you were a cool surfer chick or maybe a cool valley chick or something, but still down that same line. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And I'm not saying you don't have to say who you are, but I think like that's what I'm trying to get across is how you can get your personality and character across to me without saying this is exactly who I am, right? So I thought that was really good. You were right on par. I think you had about 3 seconds before we hit that 45. It seemed like I think you were about 35 seconds, and I go, I don't think she's going to end in time. And then you actually kind of brought yourself to being ready to close it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I don't know, you slipped or something. What
I did. I was like, crap, what does that say? All right.
What? Okay, are you going into this promo with a go home line?
I did. Enough said was supposed to be my go home. Like I put it in like big words to know to like go home with that. And then I said that before my last sentence. So I was like, crap.
So what we talked about last week was I was in a match. I mean, for those that were here, you have to bear with me on hearing the story again. So I was in a match, and Shane Douglas was my agent, and I hit a guy with a super kick. The whole crowd goes nuts. The whole crowd gets the loudest it ever gets in the match. I go for the pin. He kicks out. We actually go to our go home sequence, which was whatever it was. We go home, and so the super kicks here. The go home was probably right here. And so it was lower. The go home was lower than the actual super kick. And Shane Douglas asked me, why didn't you go home on the super kick? And I said, because the finish was this, you know? And so you if your finish was the nuts said, let it go. Let it go. You don't have to say no more. You know what I mean? And sometimes we're speaking and we say enough said, and we say that as if we're going to, on the tip of our tongue, we're going to say something else, and we feel we have to push that, hey, something else out. So how do we stop from doing that? Slowing down a little bit. So that way you can actually think, hey, this is it. I'm going home right now, whether I'm 5 seconds early or not, right? 5 seconds early is better than 5 seconds late. Yeah, but I thought you were getting it across. We just got to get to the end. What did you think about this one, Ruby? You were at 44 seconds before you just smiled and said, oh, I can't do it. Never smile and say, I can't do it. Get us home. Get us home, right? Because once you start that habit of, oh, I messed up, let's do it again, you're going to be, right? They said it where they go, we're live, pal. And he tells, I think it's like, I don't know, someone telling Sid, let me try it again. And he goes,
Jim
we're
Ross
live.
and Sid.
Yeah, Jim Ross goes, no, we're live, pal. So, like, I want to avoid you ever going down that alley and just, like, hey, get us to the end. Hey, you might even mess up and have to laugh in it. At the end of the day, you're going to say that was part of my promo.
For sure.
Whether that was my nervous laugh from messing up, Let's get home. What did you think? What are your thoughts and pointers, Ruby?
I love the promo, even though I started busting up partway through it. Here's my thing, and the reason why I'm saying I love this promo. It is completely different than all the other promos that we've heard thus far. You are embracing who you are as a person and working with it and not trying to fight against it. And I think that's really important because the promo that you're giving is inherently you, and you could feel it. And you're this character, Milo Matters, and all this, and the smiles and everything like that. You don't have to change that. I think I need to reiterate, you don't have to change that to fit into wrestling. And that works for you, and work with it. Look at someone like Kylie Rae. Kylie Rae is an absolute doll, and she's a sweetheart, and this is how she is all the time in real life. And I can imagine at some given point, people are probably telling her that she has to be like a wrestler and serious and this and that, and look at her and look at the career that she's built off of being inherently who she is. So I personally, I love the promo, but except for the technical aspects, the you being you and you being funny and you being awkward were all great. Now we just gotta hammer the technical aspects, and that's pretty much everything that Joey was talking about right there.
Got it.
So we'll finish off, and I definitely want to see if we can get to everybody and get in at least a second round, in a second shot, right? Because it's doing it over and over. And then like what I was telling everybody on Thursday was, hey, you can cut these promos and send them to us. You could say, hey, Hyde, what do you think of my promo? That one was better than the last one. Hey, maybe I should send it in. So before you even send it to the coaches, you could send it to each other and see what you guys think. And usually it takes us someone that I really trust. I don't want to. You feel like an ass sometimes. You just feel embarrassed, right? It's like selling for the first time, selling the punch. It just feels very weird and unnatural. But once you do it, then it's a second nature. So I think the same thing on the promos. So let's go ahead and give yourself some thought. We have another 55 minutes in the class. We're probably going to have a second chance to get to you again. Okay? All right. So let's see here. So Osvaldo, I see your picture there. We are cutting promos from 30 to 45 seconds. Oh, I thought that was a picture. You're actually standing there. Okay. So we're cutting promos. I know you jumped on. I don't know. You might have jumped on actually right on time. So if you have a promo, we want you to cut a promo. So who's next? Who can cut one? Who's ready? Just putting it out there. How about you, Pete? You got a second one in you? Look at what do you got there? Some energy drink?
Sadly, it's just water, Joey. Sadly, it's just water.
Well, just water.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
My buddy. My buddy used to have bottled water all the time. He wasn't really the most athletic guy. They're like, "What do you do with your water bottle? You always got your water bottle." Oh, bro, it's vodka inside. Oh, well, that fucking changes everything. Now I know exactly why you have a water bottle all the time. That's what that reminded me of. Yeah, it's just water, bro. Because that's what they would tell everybody. Oh, it's just water, bro. All right, here we go, Pete. Let's do it when you begin talking, my friend.
Hi, I'm the Encyclopedia Pete Traris, and I've lived 100 lives, done a lot of things. And now I'm here at Santino Brothers to share those experiences with everybody. I have a strong background in television, broadcasting, and photography. And what I'm trying to do here is build the most inclusive, respectful group of individuals that want to create some of the best content out there. I don't know. I lost it. I lost it halfway.
So let's go in there with a go home line, right? So let's have a go home line, right? Same thing I tell the guy. Well, let's.
I got to work on that.
Yeah, hey, right? Obviously, that's the bottom line, right? So let's find something. What would the encyclopedia, because is the encyclopedia going to close the book on you?
Absolutely is one of those things I say, but I don't know. I've been sitting here the whole time racking my brain how to fit that in, and I mean, it would have to be like an emphatic statement at the end. I don't know where to place it yet.
Okay.
Like what line do you have that you don't know how to place?
No, absolutely. But I'm trying to figure out how to say it. Like I would use it like in an emphatic way, end it with a punctuation. But I
think she's asking how do you end it with absolute the word absolutely, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. Would the encyclopedia Pete Trice, right? Pete Terrace? Travis. So would the encyclopedia be closing the book on us? Could that be an ending? You know what I mean? Would the encyclopedia be throwing the book at us? You know, I don't know. I'm just trying to think, and maybe for me it's coming out corny. You're like, no, that's not where I want the encyclopedia to go. But like, those are just some ideas. So those are the things that, like, saying, hey, go into your peers and say, hey man, I'm trying to come up with an ending that works. And what can I have? And then always let's go into these promos. Hey man, hey, if the encyclopedia is gonna throw the book at you, and hey, you're not like, dude, I ain't married to that fucking line, but I need something. Like, let's have something, so that way when you were, I didn't even know what the time was. She says 23 seconds you were in. So you were in 23 seconds. So when you feel like, oh my God, I am losing my train of thought, fuck it, let's go home, right? So at the end of the day, right, in your thinking, you gotta go, hey man, I was gonna either shit the bed on the promo, or I took it home and we were only 26 seconds. I know it was short, and now that's wrong, right? Shorter is better than longer, obviously, and getting through a promo would be better than saying, damn, I messed up, right? That's gonna build those bad habits that we don't want. So let's get a right, even if we have to figure it out right now, hey, Pete's gonna close the book on you. And that could be your go home if we get a second chance to do a second promo. So let's just think about that. Hey, I'm not married to that line, but I just need something to close it up. And sometimes the line that you guys are so like, think like this is the money, sometimes it falls flat and it ends up being something else that works. You know what I mean? So like, don't worry about trying to find the perfect thing. Have something to start, and at least having something, you're going to stumble upon what works better. Or maybe, hey, I watched a movie and this line was one of the greatest lines. I could put it together, right? Going back to what we were telling Javi, I'm going to put it together in my own thought, you know? So just like have something. If you don't have anything, I'd either close the book on you or I throw the book at you, because I'm the encyclopedia. So that way, at least when we go to their second one today, if we get a chance to, you'll have at least something
to wrap it up
like,
with.
Yeah, for when you're like, damn it, go home. Because that's what I would think. Damn it. You know, when you're laying on your back, advertising on your shoes, you know, that you just got chaosified, then you'll know. Like, so then I'd try to bring it home, because I'd be like, and my ending was a little longer. It was like a little long thing, but it would at least wouldn't feel like the promo was cut off right there. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on Pete's promo, Ruby?
I'm having trouble trying to distinguish exactly what type of promo you're cutting, and or by it, what position in wrestling you're currently. Are you trying to be a manager? I'm sorry.
Not really. I want to
Okay.
book and produce and all the behind the scenes stuff. So like, this is why this is not a very good muscle. You know, I'm very bad at this.
Yeah. It felt kind of scattered then when I take that into account. I don't know. It's hard. I get where you're coming from. I get it. You want your go home line to be absolutely? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna kind of echo what Joey's saying about having a go home line instead of a go home word. That's just me, but yeah, I don't know. I felt scattered when I listened to it. It felt like it was kind of all over the place, and I understand that it's kind of how you are, and that's kind of where you are. You want to help, you want to do this, you want to do that. I would just reel it in and give you self-focus.
Tell us, so next time you get a chance to cut a promo, right? And I get it. Like, yeah, I want to be Pete and promote shows, and I don't want to actually be a manager. Totally get that, right? But part of the tool, like what I would always tell Jeremy was, listen, I understand you want to be a wrestler, but what's going to really help, or you want to be a referee, what's going to really help you is if you get in there and you do some wrestling training so you understand what the wrestlers are going through, and it does help you. And I think this could sort of be that same tool if you want to book shows, because if you do want to book shows, like, man, I remember guys like Rob Black that I worked with in XPW, and he was incredibly animated about what he would say, Joey, and then you got to do this, and I want you to come down, and you're going to have to cut the promo of this, the Rock Superstar Chaos, the music goes on, and I'm like, oh my God, he's so goddamn animated. So I think, like, hey, if you are going to be booking shows, it's going to come to that time where you're like, hey, this is what I want to see. And a lot of the times, the promoters will actually act it out, what they want you to see to help you out, having that little bit of personality. So I think that going down the same line, I get like, hey, I don't want to be a manager, but I think this tool will actually help you out and getting it through. So now if we cut a promo about Encyclopedia Pete, let's say let's put yourself over, like, imagine yourself as a manager or a promoter. You could be the promoter, right? In character, right? We have Mr. McMahon, who's a promoter in character, so I think that could really help you out. So let's think about cutting the promo in a promoter character, and maybe that'll actually help you and give you a direction to follow. And then besides giving you, because I know you could do it, right? I want you to get to that end. So we'll give you a second chance down right here in the next 45 minutes. And let's think of some of those lines to go home with. Hey, and like I said, we can shit the bed right here. It's fine. It's fine. This is a learning process, right? We are going to fail our way to success, and we'll get there. You know what I mean? Never fear failure. You can never fear failure, man. It's just the learning process is all it is. It's all it is. So we'll hit it again. And right, talking about Javi being nervous. Don't worry about being nervous. Just start throwing it out. We should be the most comfortable people that you should be around when cutting these promos. Okay, because it's going to come a time, man, you're going to have to cut it in front of a very powerful Vince McMahon type promoter. You know what I mean? That gets some nerve-wracking because you're like, I want this job and I don't want to screw it up. What I would tell you in that scenario, clear your mind. Don't worry about screwing up and not getting the job. Hit your fucking promo. Do what brought you to this show. So we'll give you a second chance on there, Pete. Let's see here. We got the master here. Did you guys know that? We got the master right here. Baba Shah, like he goes closer to the video. Oh, Mr. Baba Shah. Let's see if I can.
I had to turn my mute on. I'm doing a little sewing. Hi, buddy.
How are you, my friend? How are you? What Ruby and I are going through some of the students. We're cutting these promos, giving them critiques. I'd love to see if there's something that a promo that you would have. Like, let me ask you, a person like you should have a 30-second to 45-second promo, like just right there in your shirt pocket. Am I right?
Yeah, just give me a direction.
30-second to 45-second promo of who you are and what you're going to accomplish in professional wrestling. Very generic type promo.
And what you're going to accomplish?
Hey, this is what I've come to do. Hey, if you have to make a match out of you and Hyde, hey, you can make a match. Hey, my guy Vinny Wasco, or whatever the case is. But yeah, they're just cutting promos, just going about 30, 45 seconds. A lot of the times it's their first time actually just giving it a shot and talking. But
a lot of that comes with the one thing too. I heard you giving critique about what Pete was doing, and that's something to reiterate of what I said in the character class too. Is that a lot of your promo will come out of your own sense of self, meaning that if like what I liked what you were saying about Pete, if you're trying to be booker promoter, then you do need that energy and that promotion to sell whatever you're selling. Even if you're not being a character, you might need that type of promo level energy to sell yourself, sell something, sell to, like it's almost sales pitchy where you got to be this character where people buy into you to be like, I believe this guy and I want to go to his shows or I want to advertise for the shows. So that maybe ties into like, it's not that you have to cut a promo for somebody who you're going to rent from or you're going to do something from, but just bringing out that personality and that passion of what you're going to say, it all just flows off your tongue versus trying to overthink about like making sure I get that word in and the right phrasing. The natural vernacular will come out if you just let it go instead of thinking about it. Dom Kubrick, I love Dom Kubrick. He and I are kings of overthinking, and I had to tell him how to not overthink because I could watch his eyes and like brain spin as he was talking.
Which definitely is going to throw your promo off, right? I mean, obviously slowing it down, being more comfortable. What were some of the let me ask you, I mean, obviously, or I mean, I don't know if you guys know, but the first time I've seen Bob was there's some guy on this food truck show, and he had some flags, and I was like, oh, good God, dude, these guys are going to lose in the first round. Like, what the fuck are these flags going to do? Little did I know, I fast forwarded now, that's Bob, actually. I was on my TV. But Bob, what my point is that Bob was, even on that TV show, he was incredibly noticeable, you know.
But I also I was about to finish your sentence, but I was like, not only there was a noticeable, but I also literally cut promos on that show because when we're sitting in Little Rock or where were we? We were in Amarillo, Texas. Like I was trying to think of like promos to cut to like ring a business, meaning like, you know, like little quick rhymes about waffles and come and get your waffles. Like we were the singing waffle truck because I was trying to like get their attention by being quick and clever to like grab their attention. So you just start coming up with word alliterations and things that make sense to you, and you never know what kind of reaction you're gonna get. And realistically, some of the best promos that I think I've cut, I didn't overthink it, and I edited the shit out of them because when I first brought it to my own, like I hate to say his name right now because it's a touchy topic, Joey Ryan, the Joey Ryan promo that Dom and I cut at Ground Zero against him, I literally was like, let's cut to the shit. Let's not overthink what's going to happen. Let's just like talk about it and then get to the moment. And the moment was what made it. It wasn't, we didn't take 100 takes. We took like 3 takes maybe because I think I messed up something in the beginning. Let's start over because we only had 1 bottle of champagne to pop. But that being said, it's like, you never know what kind of magic you're going to get by just letting go.
Man, and that's a key element right there, right? Because that's what I say, right? Like Bob is really good in the promos. What I say about the wrestling is the same thing, right? Don't overthink it. We want to build the magic. We want the magic to come. We want you to see the magic and actually formulate it right then and there in the middle of the promo, middle of the match, because that builds for great moments. You know what I mean? It really does, right? If we could think of a moment and try to create that moment, and sometimes it'll work, most of the times it won't unless it's like something real from the bottom of the heart or really feeling it, right? And you're not even going to know what the fuck that magic is until you're actually out there doing it. You know, so it's not something that you can really manufacture, you know, in the back, you know?
I was about to say, you can prepare lines all you want. You really can. I come up with little phrases, little catchphrases, little moments, things I want to call somebody, whatever. But they literally, if you hold on to them and cement your brain to like, I got to say that thing, or I got to use that phrase, and it's like burning a hole in your pocket or your brain, so to speak, it will either come out insincere or fall flat if it doesn't call for it. It's good to have an index file of those like things you've always wanted to say in the back of your head. And I still have a full deck of like little things I want to call people or moments that I want to like create. But in the moment, sometimes you can't force those things. So that's the whole improv game, is you got to be able to like quick on your feet. Okay, I was going to tell that guy he has a crappy suit, but the goal of this right now is not about his suit. So let's just change that. You got to like be on the fly to figure out what you're going to say or how you're going to react. Because if you like sit there and go, I can't wait to say that thing about his suit. I can't wait to say that thing about his suit. I got this great joke about his suit. And the whole thing just takes a left turn because this he's not wearing a suit all of a sudden. Oh, crap. You got to be ready. You got to be ready for some sort of pull up the index cards in the back of your head to go, oh, well, I could say something about his shoes, his eyes, something else. You got to have that ready to go kind of arsenal to shoot off with, because otherwise, again, you'll be like deer in headlights when they're like, and go, and you're like, a suit. Oh.
I think that's very important, Bob, of just having all this ready, and you want to say every single phrase that you have come up with, but having that patience and waiting for the moment to come to finally deliver the line is going to make for such a better, right, like Bob is saying, than forcing it in there. And I think we talk a lot about that in wrestling class, right? Like, try to go in there and I want to do this move, but now it's everything has changed because we're working the league. You know, I don't know. You know what I mean? So, and then that's going to show you how good you are by now adapting to that. And seeing that we're working the leg, or what the promo is. Hey, Bob is wearing a red shirt. I got a line for that. You know what I mean? But that's really going to help out, as opposed to trying to manufacture it at home and then come and do the promo, right? Because you want to be in that environment to see what you're gonna what kind of promo you're gonna pull off. You know what I mean? Like, we can go at home. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bob.
What I was going to add to that is it also helps. This is that whole, like, you're going to look like a crazy human being and it's okay. This is what I talk about. Like, if you're bored in traffic, put on your recorder on your phone and sit there and think about, like, what would I say against somebody who has this? How would I cut a promo against somebody who does this? And whatever, like, thing you can just spit out, whatever, like, just verbal garbage you can think of, just to, like, and again, it's like a vision board of your mind of just trying to, like, what would I say, or what would be a key phrase or something I heard once, and just throw it on the paper. You may never use it, or it may come in handy later. But the goal is to just, like, come up with creative ideas to just think of. And again, you may not remember them that day, or they may not come into play, but there may be a day where you're like, hey, we need you to cut a promo about a guy in a red suit. And you're like, I was writing a promo in my head about, like, cutting on somebody's suit. Oh my God. Like, you'd be surprised the amount of times I've literally been caught talking to myself backstage in the locker room. Just like, okay, talking. You're sitting there, like, thinking and talking. And my husband will tell you, he can tell when I'm cutting a promo in the car with him, because I'll sit there and, like, use my hands. Or I'll go, like, and he's like, are you cutting a promo? I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking of something. Like, but it's okay, because as long as you keep those, like, juices flowing of, like, how, if I had to go against so-and-so, how would I react? If I had to talk about this situation, how would I react? And then you start building, it's like a D&D character. You start building these attributes of, like, reaction or non-reaction. There's something coming up. I'm pretty sure the Lacey, Ryan, Heather Monroe best of 7 is going to continue at some point. And I feel like because of what Nico Marquez was doing, he's going to be involved. But I was thinking, I'm like, well, okay, well, Nico Marquez is now in play. How does Halston Body react to Nico Marquez? We've never really met. He's a power figure, and I'm not, like, I hate power figures because I'm the one that wants control. Are you kidding me? So of course I'm going to try and undermine that dude. You know what I mean? But maybe he's my ally. Maybe he's like, Halston, I've got some things to do with you. And we're like, yeah, we're suddenly in cahoots. So I have to plan for both of those scenarios, because I'm not writing the show, but they may present that. They may go, okay, you and Nico are now a team. I'm like, great. How do I work with Nico? You know what I mean? You have to start. It's almost like pre-planning your future of, like, what you might see in the horizon. And you start thinking about, like, all right, well, I've been on Hollywood for a while, and here are the players that are currently in the locker room. How do I react to those things? And how do I react to the non-players? Like, how do I react to the refs? How do I react? Like, you start building that D&D. Like, I always refer to D&D, but it's like those little attributes of, like, I'm friendly towards this. I hate this. This is one of my things that will always be, and it has yet to be used. Never touch the merchandise. Don't touch my clothing. So some wrestler is going to cross the line with me. I'm going to be like, oh, he touched my clothes. Like, it's, you got to think about that stuff. You
see how much Bob has got, like, in his arsenal? He's opening his jacket and showing all the weapons he's got to use. And it's a lot of patience. It takes a lot of patience to. Now, let me ask you, Bob. So Ruby and I have been on the promos for this is our 3rd day now, maybe our 4th. I don't know. What are some of them now? Obviously, I think I think a lot of us, or not a lot of us, some of us have have the gift of gab. What are some pointers that might have helped you become comfortable at talking? Have you ever been nervous at talking? Because we had Javier say, "Hey, man, I'm really nervous before this promo. What do I do?" Like, let me ask you.
Yeah, I'll tell you. This
Okay.
is gonna sound like the scariest shit ever. I'm gonna say fairly half the class. Go take a stand-up comedy course and go do stand-up comedy. The first words that you're going into your brain right now, I can probably predict are, yeah, but I don't know how to tell jokes. Yeah, but I'm not funny. Yeah, but that's not the point. When I went to stand-up comedy classes, and yes, I actually took a course. I didn't just go to a bar and hope to get on stage and please put me in the open mic because I got some dad jokes to tell or some shit. I literally took a course and it was all the same type of stuff we're doing in wrestling, where it's like improv and testing yourself and trusting things and writing stuff out and all this practice that you're doing. Go take a stand-up comedy course and then go tell jokes at an open mic, at a coffee house, something. Go tell stories, whatever it is, because A, it's going to teach you to sort of help formulate what you want to say, just in a level of like, this isn't like fake promo land where I have to pretend I'm somebody. You're raw and I'm in front of everybody. You have to just be this vulnerable human being in front of human beings who are expecting you better make me laugh, and they come in with expectations. So learn the tricks of comedy. I mean, one of the stupidest tricks that I will forever remember is if you're talking, let's say it's a very quiet crowd and you're talking and you're on a stage and suddenly to the left you hear some chatter, you hear some people talking over there. Same with wrestling. If you look that way or you walk that way, they feel like there's almost like a weird kinetic presence where they're like, oh wait, he's looking. Like it's a weird trick where you just start telling your jokes and you start walking over here and the people are like, oh, he's coming our way. Little stuff like that. There's a whole myriad of tricks that comics use and writing tools that will absolutely remove a lot of the fears that you have about public speaking realistically. So that will absolutely tie you into, because that's literally when I got into wrestling class and you're talking about promos, I at first got scared. And again, Joey, I'm sure you and Sylvia have it somewhere. My first hey, cut a 30-second promo about yourself. And I literally went over and I didn't even have a line. It was just, blah, blah. Same with stand-up comedy. Once you get over that first one, and once you're like, do promos, I'm like, wait, I used to do 7-minute sets in comedy, or 8-minute sets, or 5-minute sets. And then even in radio, when I did radio, and Jason Martuka can fill in on that radio stuff, I realized I immediately dialed back and went, oh, right, I had to write 17-second promos. 17 seconds. You got to get in and out in 17 seconds. Sometimes it's even sooner, 12 seconds, because that beginning of that song starts and you only have a few beats before you're like, hey, we're going to be at Summerfest this weekend. Make sure to tune in and call us at 94 WKTI. You have to get out because the music's coming. Otherwise, it's sloppy. So that hard practice of, if you want to do that for yourself, put on a Spotify playlist and try to talk before the music's, stupid human tricks to get you to figure out timing and understand beats. And it's all that. Those are big pieces. Go take that comedy course is a big one.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you.
That
Definitely really helps out for these guys. Gives us a third point of view and insight about cutting these promos.
Even if you find online courses too, there's stuff that's like, there's people that have written, stand-up comics have written books galore about how to be a stand-up comic. And even though it's not the in-person physical part of it, there's definitely a lot of stuff about how to write things and how to phrase things to make it sound natural and normal instead of like, I'm trying to be a stand-up comic. You know what I mean? So that's my 2 cents.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it, my friend.
Of course. Joey, I still need a one-on-one Zoom with you at some point soon.
Oh, hey, hit me up. Message me. I've been doing them. So, yeah, we can definitely get it going and get together on that.
Cool. I'll stay on mute.
Okay. All right. So let's see here. So who's next on a promo?
I'd like to go, sir.
Oh, I know that voice. All right. Returning champion.
Greetings, Mr. Nelson. You know, a man of honor is a very hard and rare thing to come by in this day and age, especially in a land like this. So rest assured, I will be watching you and the decisions you make very closely. And since no one else has seen fit to do so, allow me to introduce myself to you. My name is Artorias. Strength and honor are my creed. And I am prepared to roll the iron dice of battle and either conquer or perish by them.
All right. So I think you were definitely on time. Rubio, give me the time right now. I think you're right
44 and a half seconds.
44 and a half seconds.
Actually, no, sorry. 44.94.
44.94. All right. So.
Oh, dear God.
Let me ask you this. Was this the same promo as last time, or was it different?
It was the same go home line. It is a very long go home line, and this is why I was staying behind after class.
Say the go home line again. What is the go home line?
So
the whole
my
thing.
My name is Artorias. Strength and honor are my creed, and I am prepared to roll the iron dice of battle and either conquer or perish by them. It is very long.
I mean, it could be. You can always edit it down a little bit. Ruby and or Bob, what did you think of the actual ending line?
Say it again.
My name is Artorias. Strength and honor are my creed. And
Right there.
I am prepared.
Done. You're done.
That's fine.
Right there. Strength and honor are my creed.
All right.
I personally, I would, and I'm prepared to roll the iron dice and what's the rest?
And either conquer or perish by them.
I actually really like the iron dice line. So
I do. Yeah, I do too, but I almost want him to keep that
the
somewhere
iron
else.
Maybe.
Right.
I don't know.
Almost
I think I like it. I do like it as a whole. I actually really like it as a whole. But because it is long, you can shorten it. I personally would say if there's a way to keep the iron dice, I don't know. That's something to play with.
Here's what I was going to say. Instead of you rolling the dice, that's your forcing other people to take the chance. Maybe you're going to roll the dice and you're going to it's like when people gamble, they roll dice at a craps game. So put the iron dice in other people's hands for them to take a chance against you. You know what I mean? Instead of, you know what I mean? I love the iron dice. I'm with that. I feel like you should turn it on others and use that in another promo of like maybe you're going to take a chance and shake the iron dice. You know what I mean?
So we got like Stone Cold and we have The Rock who have, Jesus Christ, dozens of lines. You know what I mean? Maybe what we're saying is that line doesn't have to necessarily go into the ending, right? Because I think maybe keeping that ending just a bit shorter, but also having it as one of your go-to lines. You know what I mean, Will?
Yes, sir.
Right, you got if the smell with The Rock is cooking, turn that son bitch sideways. That's the bottom line, right? These guys have, it's not just a one-liner, right? They got so many that makes them who they are as a great promo person. Once again, like just right off the bat, Will, I gotta say that this promo, right? I loved it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was right up there with, if not better than last promo. So I think that what I didn't like, I thought that maybe just the end needs a little bit of work, in the sense of I don't necessarily know that it was too long because I got a long ending line too, so I don't know if that really matters to me personally. as I don't know if the actual last word was strong enough as a exclamation point that this is the end, and I don't even have to tell you the end. I think it was one of those. I don't know about Ruby, but I know that I kind of sat there and I waited and I said, "Is he gonna say one more thing, or is that it?" And I think what I want is that exclamation point to really let me know this is the end. So whether it's changing the tone, slowing down the cadence of how you say it. Because you could say the exact same thing. It's just if you slow it down, spread the words out a little bit, it could make it different. What did you think, Ruby?
At the very, very end, so it's the you will earn the something or perish. I'm sorry, but to kind of go off what Joey's saying, I could actually I understand what he's saying. What are the last three lines? Something, something, or perish.
And either conquer or perish by them.
And so you could do the and either conquer ... or perish, and then you put like the emphasis on or perish for whatever you want to do. But I understand. I'm with Joey on this. I actually like the whole ending of it, but also at the same time you can go ahead and take it apart and use it in different areas. That's just my take. I like to go home. I like the end. It could be shorter. And definitely an emphasis at the end.
So, and then now you said the ending was the same, right, Will? But the actual meat of the promo was different?
Yes.
Okay.
Last time around, I picked something that Hyde said.
Right.
This time around, I picked up on something that Mr. Nelson said.
Good, right. Those are great keys to pick apart these people that are actually cutting the promo. Now, the best part about that is it brings us right around in a full circle because of something that maybe John said. He is the authority, or you will respect him. So I think that always really helps when it comes to telling your story and the promo. So I think that's a really good job that you're doing that. And it takes some thought, right? Because you can go in there and say this is my promo, but now you're actually waiting to formulate your promo by seeing what maybe somebody else is saying. But that's like kind of helping yourself take it to the next level, So and once again, not bad. I like the tone. I like I think you did have the waves up and down. I definitely like you taking the hat off. I want to say like this particular one promo, I think you got down. I'd like to now see a different range, right? Different scenario, right? Maybe the setting isn't right, because when they used to do Raven's promo in ECW, he used to go to a dark stairwell or something like that, and they would always cut these cool. I always thought they were really cool at the end of the ECW, and they would actually just have people would have matches, but some people would just have a promo, and they would actually play the Mizzaloo song from Pulp Fiction, and they would play that and just have all the promos. And so they would always have Raven like in a dark setting, stairwell, something like that, alleyway or something. So now I want to imagine, okay, so if this is your alleyway dark stairwell promo, now I want to see a different promo, maybe as if maybe Joey Styles is interviewing you. How are you going to cut that promo, right? Because what are the scenarios in pro wrestling? Because I know we got this down, and I really believe you do got this portion of this type of promo down. Now I want to see what your range is to opening it up, right? To different types, right? What is Undertaker? Undertaker does all types of promos, right? He's in the graveyard where it's cinematic, or he'll do in backstage, or he could do it right in front of the SummerSlam logo. In the ring, right? So there's different, right? He's not just one-dimensional. So I don't want you to fall, although it's very good, I don't want you to fall into just nailing this one promo. I want you to nail them all. Not saying that you can't do that, but I want you to start thinking about that, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good job, my friends. All right, so let's see here. Who else we got here? Jay Douglas.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. Or excuse me.
Yeah.
Teddy Bloom. Teddy Bloom.
Yeah.
Swayze. All right, Swayze, here we go.
All right, Artorias, I got to tell you, last week you lit something up inside of me that I haven't felt for a long time, dude. Now, I know you're a man of honor and decency, and man, do I respect that. But who are you hiding from underneath that hood, dude? Yourself? I mean, you talk about rolling out your weirdo iron dice of Mordor and dying by your creed, and for what? To leave your fate to chance? Let me let you in on a little secret, dude. There are no iron dice. All there is Teddy Bloom and the one true self. For nothing is at last sacred but the integrity of your own mind.
Ruby, where were we on that? I think we're right on the money, weren't we?
44 seconds.
44 seconds. I definitely, Jay, I definitely dug it. I definitely dug it. You had mentioned something, and you actually, man, I think we need replay here. You had mentioned something. You actually sat back and smiled. I think you're telling Artoria something. I think you at that moment you could have actually stopped and paused for a little bit more because you smiled at us as you chewing the gum, and I thought the gum actually added to the promo to who your character is. I thought it was really good, man. Maybe just at certain points, I think we could start picking it apart and saying, when you say this line, maybe let us think about what you said a little bit longer. Because as you sat back and you smiled and you said something, it really gave me that the idea of who your character is. And just sitting back and smiling, chewing that gum, like it really, it showed me this I don't know, this pompous confidence of some sorts. I don't know if exactly that's what you're trying to get across. I know what character that's helping you, right? The Patrick Swayze character from Point Break. But yeah, I definitely saw you fall into your own. What did you think? What you heard or saw, Ruby?
I really liked it, and I probably like it a little bit more since you sent me those promos, and I kind of gather a little bit more where your character is going, so I have context to put with it. I think, I don't know, like maybe I slowed down a little bit more. I mean, I don't have a whole lot to give you because I actually did like it.
I noticed, if I can interrupt you guys.
Yeah.
When I was like writing notes down for it, I kept timing myself and seeing I was like hitting 45, and I kept cutting things out, and kind of like what Coach was saying about like allowing that negative space of like, but like I just couldn't figure out what I could have cut out, which I'd like to like, I'll send you it if you want, and talk about like how I could have cut it out and like made more room for like, silence and not so wordy and stuff like that.
I don't think it was. I definitely don't think it was wordy. I think that there's very subtle moments where you can just pause and let it simmer for a second. And I think it was that one. At least for me, it was when you sat back. And I film all these sessions, so we'll have it on video. But I want to see what actually that line was because it looked like I wanted to say you should have winked at us because it was just like a little bit of confidence where you just smiled and were chewing your gum. You didn't do this, but it looked like you just had that aura about you. And I think that those are those moments, right? And that's what Bob was talking about, that magic, feeling that magic. And just, I'm in it right here, right? We can go and we can try to manufacture the moment, which makes it a lot harder. Try to now, like, right? What did Mila say? What did Eminem say? Lose yourself in the music. You know what I mean? Like be right there in that moment. Feel it. You got to understand that, like, man, if I feel it in the moment, I am also taking a chance of ruining this promo. But I need you to take those chances to ruin the promo in order to make greatness. You know what I mean? I definitely, because right, it's the same thing as, I'm just gonna play it safe and hit my one-liner and go home. Right? Play it safe is cool, man, but no one ever told the story about the guy that played it safe. Right? It's like they say, hey, remember the story about the guy that quit? Right? Yeah, nobody fucking does, right? So same thing. But yeah, so right, you got to be willing to take that chance and just be like, fuck it. I could mess up this promo here, but I also could elevate it. You know what I mean? That's that building that magic. Yeah, go ahead.
I was like more like trying to fit it all in to make sure I hit the 45-second mark. I mean, I know that like Ruby was saying, you got to hit that 30-45, don't ever go over. But if you're feeling something in the moment, do you guys ever just say like, fuck it, like I'm just gonna keep going, and who gives a shit with like the right now?
Not for TV. Not for film stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not for TV. There will be instances where if you do feel it and you go longer, there will be instances where the promoter is like, "I'm with you on it, man. That was great." There's going to be instances, and a lot of the times it brings me to lucha shows where these guys grab the mic and they go 20 minutes. And you're like, you don't even have a promo segment, and it will piss the promoters off. So you definitely, obviously at first you got to get to that level of being that Stone Cold or The Rock, where if you're over on time, Vince McMahon cherishes you so much that he's going to make sure he figures out what he has to do, even though you went over 5 seconds. He's going to come back to commercial and let you finish your promo if you're that special. And there's a lot of them, few and far between though. They definitely are. You know what I mean? When we talk about them, it seems like a lot of them, but there's not as many of those charismatic promos that can do that. So, and don't get me wrong, man. What makes those guys good, The Rock, Ric Flair, Stone Cold Steve Austin, is they hit their cues. You know what I mean? That's what makes them great. Promoters can trust them to go out there and hit their line, hit their time, get the point across, bring the crowd up, bring the crowd down, whatever they need, the promoter needs them to do. Bob, what did you think of Teddy Bloom's promo?
I absolutely got the point of view. I got your voice. That's really what I got. When she saw the minute you said Kurt Russell from Point Break, I was like, oh, that was what I was like. Yeah. Sometimes if you don't even, because really, I didn't even know that was your point of view of character. But when I heard the voice, and especially when you hit dude in there, I was like, did he just dude him? Yeah.
You know what? You mentioned that. I dug the dude line too, and it was very almost run over. You know
what? Why it was so great is because it just broke that tension. You were so focused to say the words about the guy you're talking about, dude. You're like, what? Because it brought you back in instead of just this lines about the guy you're talking about, your Iron Dice, and you talk about all right. The minute I heard dude, I was like, there he is. There's the guy I'm hearing. So it was great. I loved that little throw in there. And you want to accentuate it, maybe use that as your again, a punctuation or that's your pivot point, everything. Listen, we could talk all day about the things we're going to do in the ring, dude. However, right, that's your comma in your promo, perhaps. You know what I mean? So think about those words, instead of just using them as words, use them as tools to create, again, a character level or they're waiting for him to save the dude, and you're not even trying. You're just saying it because it's part of your character. You're Girls from Point Break. So, yeah, I really liked the focus of it, and I understand everything you were saying. That's why I was so Ruby. It's hard to pick apart when it's no, that was a really solid promo. Keep those little moments, like that dude thing. I was like, ding, pop.
Sorry. So having watched the promos that you sent me and having heard what you did right now, can you give me a really quick, brief description on exactly the character you're going for? Is it just the Point Break character, or because I'm feeling like a cultish vibe, a leader, a charismatic cultish leader vibe, a kind of Billy Lee, Bad Times.
Yeah, exactly. When I was drawing this up to explain it to Joey, I said Point Break Patrick Swayze because I surf, and that was a really big influence on me. So that's a pretty big extension of me. And when I saw the Billy Lee thing, that really clicked, and that promo that I did, walking through the field and all that crap. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of it comes from the biggest influence underlying all this are two authors that I grew up reading. And they're transcendentalist authors about self-reliance and nonconformity and all these other things. And just basically just listening to your own mind, not paying attention to the government, religion, all this crap. So that's a foundation of me anyway. I'm just trying to take it and be this hypnotic hippie wanderer who, I actually believe this stuff for real, but now I'm pushing on people in a douchebaggy way.
Nice. Okay.
I was gonna say, study other leaders like that. And I know this is gonna sound funny, but Marianne Williamson is kind of that way. And she's trying to do it for positive. She's not trying to be like some weird cult leader kind of thing.
Mhm.
But if you really watch her language and how she speaks to her people, like it doesn't have to go full like David Koresh, Waco, Texas cult leader where it's religious and violent. It can always just be like, I mean, Charlie Manson wasn't violent. Like he wasn't out there just like stabbing people. He got other people to do the work. So think about that level of sycophant where you're like, how do I convince people that I'm convincing?
Okay.
And it's using those charismatic words that sound like you know what you're talking about, but you're drawing them in. I mean, you could even study like pyramid scheme speakers.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be the, hey, be a rock star and be in my pyramid. It could be just like
Right.
as simple as talking to Herbalife people. Like there's a language that goes with that, how to convince people they need things kind of thing. So yeah, study those like subtle culty type leaders versus the ones that are obvious. Like as I said, like a Koresh, that's obvious, it's on the nose. But if you look at those other ones that still exist, I mean, look at Tony Robbins. Even though he's there for positivity and change and trying to like, you're a success and leadership, there's still kind of a core. I mean, there's cultists that are like Robbins, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Okay. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Good job, Teddy Bloom. Let's see here. Do we have anybody else for the first time today? Who's ready to cut a promo? We have I got Richie here. I have Alyssa here. They might just be listening. I also have Dom Kubrick. Dom Kubrick. Anybody ready to cut a promo?
I'll go.
Of course. And also, obviously, you have your inspiration here, right? You're going to cut it on Halston Body, huh?
First of all, Dom, get a haircut.
In quarantine life.
Yeah.
I'm always managing him. Always.
All right.
All right, on you, my friend.
Yeah. Sooner or later, they all see the light. And I say, fly away, little Icarus, fly away. With effervescence in your flutter, fly away. Brick by yellow brick, fly away. At the end of the rainbow, only to find Kubrick. Walls closing in, feeling the roof fall, the floor is heightened. You see what I'm saying? What's a moth to a butterfly? Stepping into the red light, getting your wings clipped. Another one down, another one sees the light.
Okay, all right. I want to say right off the bat, just being honest, I thought the last week's promo was better. Right? Obviously, I think we didn't get the finish right. It ended early, right? Because you got mixed up. I think is that what happened?
Yeah.
This one, I like the tone. I like your voice. Like I'm digging your voice in the sense of like I don't know what it's reminding me of something, and whether I figure out what it reminds me of, I don't think that's an issue, but it does make me feel comfortable to hear your voice. I think is what I really noticed in this promo. Kind of made me think of like Pony Boy from The Outsiders, just kind of when he's saying that one and walk out into the bright sunlight. You know, I don't know if that's what you're going for, but it just at least that kind of very iconic kind of voice is what I'm kind of hearing. What are you hearing, Ruby? What do you think?
I love it. I absolutely love the voice. I think last time I mentioned Jim Jones when I was talking to you. I don't know, but it's the same. I like it because it's soothing, and because of the tones, it requires my attention. I would, however, like to hear a little bit more variance in the tones, or even just in the volume.
What was it you said? You like to hear what?
I was gonna say that was what I was gonna say is like, first of all, Dom, since you and I have last cut a promo together, holy shit, who's that dude? Who's that Dom Kubrick cutting hot promos? Fuck yeah, I love it. Also, as I've always said about your character, I love when you play mysterious. I love when you play enigmatic on a level of like, what is what is that about? It draws people in. They want to know more. If you just spill it all out in one big chunk, they're like, oh, well, there it is. But I love how you keep these like words and these images just give you this visual. I was literally walking through these crazy halls as you were talking. That's what I was going to tie into what Ruby said. If you give certain phrases just a little bit more oomph, or maybe just a little bit more sizzle,
I appreciate the feedback. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, I got cut out right there, Dom, but I got cut out when Bob was talking about having a little bit more oomph and sizzle. That probably was what I was looking for to say to you, was that it just needed a little bit more. I definitely like the tone, love the voice and everything. I think it needed a little bit more, right, sizzle, sell it, or oomph to it. But yeah, I mean, I definitely like the voice. It's something kind of like very unique in your tone and in your voice that I'm hearing. That's why I'm talking about a little bit more, because it has something very unique that I haven't really pinpointed it. So I like it. I definitely would suggest sticking to that. I think it's working, you know. And then this is just going to be you like really figuring out and finding out what really works for your character the best. You know what I mean? So good job today, Dom. Good job for everybody. Man, what do they say? My music teacher, I used to play this alto saxophone. My music teacher always say, time flies when you're having a great time. And I just looked at the clock right now when my internet went out, and I said, Jesus Christ, it's already 8 o'clock. I really thought we were going to have time to do second round promos for everybody. I know that we didn't get to Richie and Alyssa. I definitely want to get back to that on Thursday. And if you guys are here, I'd like you guys to go first. And then I also understand that you guys might be just listening like a podcast. But I'd definitely like you guys to join. So I thought second round of doing these promos for the people that have done it, I thought a lot better. And once again, like, we're filming these, putting them up. I'm trying to get these up a little sooner than later, because I got like a backlog of videos to put up. So I'm trying to get these ones up sooner or later so you guys can utilize these to help you out, and to as we go forward and keep doing these promos. But yeah, not bad. I mean, Ruby and Bob, who would you say was the one best promo of the day?
I'll let Ruby choose because I came in late and I took up your time.
I think for this week, I'm going to give it to Mr. Jay Douglas.
Jay Douglas, I thought it was really good. I think I'm gonna stick personally. I'm gonna stick with Artorias this week as a total package but with Teddy Bloom being very close second.
It was close. They're both close. Like,
yeah.
I was going back and forth, and I the reason why I chose Jay Douglas is because Will's was very similar to the last week, so I'll go with Jay Douglas this week.
Hold on, we hear Bob's sewing machine. All right, I took that off. Yeah, you know, I definitely feel you. I think Jay gave a completely different one. I'll stick with mine, going with Artorias. So that splits it down the middle this week, 50-50. So Bob, did you hear Artorias' promo and Jay's promo?
Yeah. Out of the two, realistically, out of the two, I would go with Artorias because I definitely completely understood his character and his point of view, and I knew exactly who I was listening to. And Jay Douglas, it was great. However, I still needed, like, again, I think I needed a bit more of like that. I love the idea that there's like a little level of that cultish sort of come to me, sort of listen to my words kind of thing. So that needs just a hair of tuning on that. But Artorias, I was like, I know exactly what this guy's all about.
You see the difference, right? Where we calling you Jay Douglas, we're calling him Artorias. I want you to get us to the point where we're saying Teddy Bloom, right? And I get to that point where I don't even want to know your real name. I know your gimmick name. And then for everybody, I even seen Birdman right there doing his head like that. I'll be honest with you, that's what I want to see. Like, you guys shouldn't be, you guys shouldn't be fucking happy for the guy that beat you. Yeah, I get it, sportsman and all that shit, but it should be eating your fucking heart out. You too, Milo, where you're like, fuck that shit. I'm going to be the top dog next one. And same thing for you, Dom. You should be like, no, this is too much already. Fuck these motherfuckers. They ain't rookie of the year. I'm fucking rookie of the year. I have better promos. And it really should drive into you, because that's that competitive spirit that's really involved in professional wrestling. Right? I get it. We're all happy for everyone that wins a championship, this, that, and the other. I want it to be me. I want it to be me. It needs to be me. That's how bad I want it. Like, you gotta want it that fucking bad. So I really would like these, like, when I saw Birdman, like, man, right? It's not about getting a shitty attitude. It's about saying, no, fuck that. I want to be the best. Right? So it's really walking that fine line. We don't want you to have a shitty attitude and be like, oh, fuck this guy. No, it's just to get that fire burning inside of you, right? Same thing for you, Lindsay. You got to be like, F that. That fire's got to be burning for me. I'm going to be number one 3 weeks in a row when we do these promos. I want to be the best. Whether that means, hey, how can I be the best? Hey, maybe extracurricular work, right? Hitting up the coaches, getting another point of view, asking Bob for help, even asking your peers, hey, what do you think of this promo? You know what I mean? And same thing for you, Pete, right? We're gonna go home, and we're gonna get that go home line and see what works and what doesn't, and see what's best. So I think that's the competitive spirit that I want you guys to have, right? And it's walking that fine line, right? Ain't nobody want to see you with a fucking shitty attitude, right? That turns promoters off. I don't want you at my show, man. It's negativity, right? But having that competitive spirit is just really walking that razor's edge. So let's find that razor's edge to walk it, to want to be the best. Hey, and then, hey, if we're saying Artorias is tearing up, hey, maybe you got to go pick his brain a little bit. Hey, help me out here, man. We're going to have to do everything we got to do what we got to do to get the job accomplished, right? Like was it Nation of Domination, by any means necessary, right? So we have to figure it out what we can do, right? We've talked about cult speakers, right? Bob brought up today was the pyramid speakers, right? Yes, those guys are talking money out of your fucking pocket for bullshit, right? I don't know. You know what I mean? Where we talked about listening to politicians, stand-up comedians, right? We're going all these places outside the box to try to fix our promos, right? Besides wrestling, right? Because wrestling is almost too easy sometimes, and then we become a carbon copy or a ripoff of somebody else. This really, going outside the box, is really going to help us out to get to where we need to get to. So, all right, that's my rant for the day. So, good job today, guys, and I definitely hope to get to everybody. We might definitely, I mean, I don't know. What do you think, Ruby? We should continue these promos, right? Just keep going until at least maybe we got more people feeling comfortable about it, huh?
Definitely. I think we should definitely go up around 3. This will be the round, if we do round 3 on Thursday, and then someone could try to dethrone Will, because he's 2-0 right now. So that puts everybody on notice, like, as of right now. 2-0. Come on, guys. And
then even around 3 would be good, but then even around 4, where maybe it's a tournament style, where you're gonna have to cut 3 promos tonight to win. You know what I mean? And it just
we could do this. We could do
this. It definitely puts that competitive spirit and fun into it. And that's what we need. I think that's what definitely we need, because we also got to remember, hey, what's wrestling? Wrestling is fun, man. Wrestling is fun, and we go through all these details and all these numbers, right? Like It's a Beautiful Mind, the movie, and it's like it's so confusing. Let's have fun. Let's have fun, right? Whenever Jake Atlas asks me for advice, 9 times out of 10, I say, dude, just go out there and have fun, man. Stop thinking about all these spots and what you shouldn't do, what you shouldn't say, what you think they want to see. Fucking just do you and have fun, right? That's sometimes some of my best advice that I can give, is to just remember why we're doing this, because it's fun, we love it, and that's what we want to do. So, all right, guys, thank you guys for tuning in on this Monday. I like this class again. I started so late. I think I took a nap today, and I woke up at about 5:50. And I wasn't feeling it in the first 10 minutes, but man, I think we really got it together for another good class today. I really appreciate you guys showing up, listening to us. Like I said, if you guys have any questions that you didn't hit here, hit me up, hit Ruby up, even hit Bob up. on direct message, and we'll definitely help you out. And Lindsay, I got your message, and we'll get together and we'll get that separate Zoom class. And same thing for everybody else. If you want some one-on-one time with us, I know I'm available. I know Ruby even said that she's available. Just schedule the time. We'll definitely willing here to help you out. At least for me, it totally makes me better at what I do, doing these classes for you guys, right? Like we really, I'll be honest, in the history of Santino Brothers in 12 years, like we do Jervis's class, his character development class, like, but me personally, I don't know if I've ever done so much talking or even so much promo classes. So it definitely helps me put a lot more in my arsenal to help me learn. So I hope you guys are also learning. And it could be a give and take both ways, but definitely street. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Joey.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you, Joey.
Thank you, Joey. Thank you,
And
Ruby.
Ruby.
Oh,
Thank you,
yes.
Bob,
Bring it
for
in.
hopping on.
We're going to bring it in. We're going to bring it in. All right, Ruby, bring us out. Bring us out, Ruby.
All right, guys, Santino's on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Santino! You know, I got to be
rolling.
honest. It's getting better. It's getting better, but it's nothing like the real thing in person. All right, guys. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Stay safe.
Work,
Wear your
everyone.
mask.
Thank you, Joey. Thank you, Ruby. Thank you,
Bye,
Bob.
guys. Have a good day.
Everyone.
Hit me up about that class.